Hi guys, it's Aegis here. So finally we just get our previews or actually card text release for megacolony in the free premium collection, and we have all been waiting it for so long. We know it's Giraffa, we know it's the 123 Giraffa, and we love it. Of course, even though it's not my boy Master Beetle, but it's still megacolony cards, and we are all looking forward to what it does. And we know now, which is very great, very strong, and have to say, love it. So I've already trained myself some proxies, ready to cut them out and start deck building actually tomorrow, because today I got to be do a lot of stuff till late, and now making this video, and after that I'm going to sleep anyway. But my brain won't stopping, just keep thinking decks, and I already have something in mind. So I will just process it, make it up, and then test it. And if I do have a chance to maybe do some power setup, maybe I can do a stream to just like share with you my process, look at the cards and stuff. And if anyone joining, then we can do discussion. But without further ado, let's talk about card skills. Of course, I'm going to show you these ones here, but at the same time, I'm going to show you the image right here. So with the hue trigger grade 3, I think everyone is the same. So for now, on the Wikia or Venom, I don't see the one for megacolony yet, so I'm printing the DP one because I am also have Black Eyes printed, so I can just test both if I want to. But for now, it's just that. So not talking about the hue trigger because I think it's already revealed. The main dish is our Giraffa. So the Great One Giraffa, Pupa Mutant Giraffa. When this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle, discard a normal unit from your hand. Remember, it's a normal unit, no triggers. Search your deck for up to one card with Giraffa in its card name and the same grade as the card discarded for this cost. Reveal it, put it to your hand, and shuffle your deck. So this is basically an on-ride 1-for-1. And of course, since we are using the V era starter, we get to draw from a starter too. So you don't actually exactly gain a card, but you exchange a card. And if you discard a great one, you can get a great one because it didn't say you can't get the same name card to your hand. So you can also pick up a great one Giraffa. But most of the time, your target will be switching your grade 2 or 3 to that is not Giraffa into a Giraffa. And that's the first skill. Very simple. And second skill is a Rega skill, auto. This card cost is reduced by Soul Blast 1 for each of your opponent's regards at rest in the same column as this unit. When this unit is placed on Regard Circle, Soul Blast 2, you can draw a card. So the best situation is your opponents have 2 Regard at rest in the same column with this card. When you call it, then you can just Soul Blast 0 to draw 1. But I think most of the time you will be Soul Blasting 1. And it's say rested unit, so as long as your opponent's Vanguard exists and is rested and you call it behind your Vanguard, you can simply just Soul Blast 1 and draw 1. And if there are more units, then you can just draw for free. Now this is great advantage because you call a unit, it becomes useful, and it's also draw your cards. At the same time, you can also consider to Soul Blast some cards so that you can recycle them because sometimes you do need that. But oh well, it's kind of normal but useful. Yeah, because last set we have something even crazier. So this one is more like normal, but normal is better than worse or bad. So I'm okay with that totally. Now, talking about grade 2, so it's the Elite Mutant Giraffa. So he got a new art, very cool. At first I saw the art, I'm like so hyped because I like the grade 2 Giraffa more than any Giraffa, I have to say. And it got a great art. And skill is also okay-ish, but I'm liking it as well. So first skill is a Vanguard and Regal Circle skill once per turn, so even if you can withstand it, it can't sort of do it again. So it's when this unit attacks, counterblast 1, and this unit gets 5000 power until end of turn for each of your opponent's regard at rest. So it doesn't count columns, count everything. And if your opponent has one or less regards at stand, draw a card. So it's especially for early games, your opponents will just rest all the regards and Vanguard. Of course, they need to attack you. Unless they don't, then that's alright. But they need to keep more than one to prevent you from drawing. Else you can counterblast 1, at least gain 5k, because the Vanguard will be rested, attacking you, so you at least get 5k from there, and you can draw a card. Okay, so second skill is a Regard Circle continuous skill. All of your opponent regards in the same column as this unit cannot intercept or move to other Regard Circle. Now this is kind of a little bit some people might say useless skill, but to me, based on the what my friends play, is very nice, because they do play cards that need to stay at the back, that don't move, or just trying to use the tokens at the back, like Hansel intercept with the tokens. This can completely stop them because they cannot move it, they cannot intercept with it. That's doing the job. And there are also units that may just trying to move in front if the front row unit is gone. Now you cannot do that too. Which basically that unit stays there, not moving until you beat the Grade 2 Giraffa. So again, it's kind of normal, but the first skill I think is more useful than we ever think of, because draw power is sometimes megacolony lacking, because we do search a lot of Grade 3s, we try to run some draw triggers, we try to do some card switchings, but that doesn't exactly mean we are having more draw power. But sometimes we just stay strong, stay hard to defend ourselves. But now we do actually get exactly draw power, which is great. Now, the main dish is the Grade 3 Giraffa, of course. Is our evil armor general Giraffa. At first, his name was basically Elite Mutant Giraffa, and we laughed quite a while. But at the same time, it's like we can't actually put the same card in the deck. But now we know he's back to his original name, so that's great. Let's talk about his skill. Auto Vanguard Circle skills. When this unit attacks the Vanguard, counterblast 1 and put a regard in your soul. So you do need to have some regards on the field. And your opponent chooses 2 cards from their hand. They call them to the Regard Circle at rest, and those units cannot stand during the next stand phase, so basically paralyzed, and their auto abilities cannot be activated with the call of this effect. So that is something that also Seal Dragon before is having trouble with. You kill your opponent's cards, no matter from hand or for on the field, and then you let them to call something out. But in the past, a lot of skills allows them to actually use the active skills or auto skills exactly, so that they can use the skills to counter you back and you're in pain. But now, including Steel Dragons, this blocks them to activate these effects, and they stun there. So you kill 2 of their hands, put on the field, they can't stand it. In the next stand phase, of course they can stand it afterwards, but they need to use extra effort, and they can't use the skills. So this makes them really need to think of what they want to place, because if they place triggers, of course they don't waste skills, but they are losing guarding power. If they are putting some strong units and trying to keep triggers in hand, they probably use them to guard, and they lose 2 units because they are both stunned, unless they do have active skill that may help them a little bit, but those units will be arrested, so you don't need to be worried about them that much. And also the second skill, a continuous skill Vanguard Circle, so he does not have any Regard Circle skill, but I think that's fine. During your turn, this unit will get 5k power for each card with Giraffa in its name, but of course different card name in your soul. So you need to have basically every single Giraffa you have in soul. And then your opponents will, when they are also grade 3 or higher, the original crit of this unit becomes 2 if you have 2 or more different card names with Giraffa. So if you only have one different name, you at least get 5k. If you get 2, you get plus 10k and the crit becomes 2. You have 3, you get plus 15k, and then your crit still becomes 2. So the maximum you can go is plus 15k and the crit becomes 2. Because it's not plus, so the crit 2 just stays there. But being able to crit changes a lot, because like even though we are playing Phantom Stinger, we play Ghidorah, we play Gunning Colio, those units won't get your crits. Well, Phantom Stinger in a way can get your crits, but it's not guaranteed. But this, basically, as long as you get the grade 1 Giraffa, you probably are guaranteed 2 crits, because you write your grade 1 Giraffa, you drop yourself a grade 2 or grade 3 to pick up a grade 2 or grade 3 to make sure you have 1 and 2 in soul and riding your grade 3. So on your first turn ride with Giraffa, saying in V Premium, we can already hit with crit plus 10k. So this can be a 22k 2 crit beater by itself, which just simple, because a lot of times in early first grade 3 ride, unless you have some amazing skills, usually you can't do anything, or even if you can do anything, a sudden defensive trigger can hurt you, but this at least take 2 damage away, or at least force some great guard so that your opponents can't keep a lot of resources in hand, and this 2 crit basically stays there, because so far I don't think if we premium anything can force you to soul blast cards that you don't want them to go away, unless you just recklessly soul blast yourself. But else, I think that should be fine. Yeah, so talk about these skills, and let's also talk about some cards that I think if you are probably new to megacolony, or you just started recently, that you're looking for cards that probably works in free premium. I'm not going to talk about the premium, that will be another topic, and since this free premium collection, so let's focus on the free era cards. So first thing first, I would say is Taika's Moth. Now this card helps you counter charge, and you do need to counter blast for your grade 2 Giraffa, and then you need to counter blast for your grade 3 Giraffa. So this basically helps you, and this is a grade 3, so it's not that hard to pick it up. And even though if you like early stage when you use your grade 1 Giraffa to discard a grade 3 or other normal units, because you need to discard normal units to get yourself another card, you can recycle with this. So you can counter charge. Basically simple and strong, and this card is kind of a must-have if you're a megacolony player. Make sure you get some. And then because we want to fill up our souls, and sometimes we just don't have our ride correctly, that happens, then a butterfly officer is going to help you out. Plus that units, plus that Giraffa extra 10k and chuck it in soul and counter charge 1 helps you a lot. You probably won't need a lot, but just helps. In Great Researcher package, Machining Mantis, Machining Hornet. This is another card that helps you to find your grade 3 Giraffas, so that when you on grade 1 Giraffa ride, you can at least try to get yourself grade 2, so that you have 1 and 2, and try your best to search for freeze. And this one also gets in the soul if you can find a grade 3 as a Vanguard, so you can soul blast other cards if you want to for your grade 1 Giraffa skill to soul blast this basically to draw your 7th card, and then use your high cast morph to return this back. Then you can do a lot of stuff continuously. So I think these ones, if you don't have it, make sure you go grab them. And then also clear freeze is something that you can consider. It's not a must right now because you do have the grade 1 Giraffa to help you to do the like switchings, but this card allows you to at least put a cradle marker there. Sometimes helps because turning your opponent's units to be a 0 and can't intercept may help, but you do need to discard a grade 3 for that. So yeah, that's something that you need to be very careful. But if you are basically good with these and the grade 1 Giraffas, you can choose not to use this card. But I think if you're really new to megacolony, you probably should at least pick up 2 to 3 copies, just in case if you want to try different builds, at least you have some options. And then I'm not going to talk about too many cards, but I'm going to show you some grade 3s that may help. Now, first, as a backup Vanguard, Phantom Singer could be a good one because you might not be able to get that 2 crit with your Giraffa turn, and you do want to push your opponents a little bit, so you might want to burn the deck and try to steal the triggers, and then switch into Giraffa to force them to drop 2 cards from hand. That may work, but it's not a must. But if you're looking for a backup plan, that may help. And since these comes in together, you just need to find yourself a playset of the last V collection, then you can get your stuff. And also, this is also another card from the set, Intruder Seizures. So they are actually a pair, a lot like group, so that you can just buy them as a playset if someone do it as a bundle. Which this card allows you to do multiple attacks, because it's not like Ghidorah that you can find yourself some grade 3s out. So you do need to find yourself some way to basically enable your multiple attacks, and Intruder Seizures allows you to do that. Because this card, as long as this card is in the drop zone, and after your grade 3 Vanguard attacks, battle ends, and your opponents did take a damage for the turn, doesn't have to be Vanguard attack hits, then this card can Calabash 1 and call itself. And when this appears, Solar Box 1, choose one of the Vanguard restand, and this unit will get plus 10k. So you can at least try to make 5 attacks with this card, and since your Vanguard will get a crit, you might be easier to make your Vanguard attacks hits, and then your opponents try to force defending with your Vanguard attack, because it's likely going to be crit +1. After that, you call yourself an Intruder Seizures, withstand the other Vanguard, and then with the triggers you put on something that's on the field, you call yourself an Intruder Seizures, restand that unit that contains all the trigger effects, and then this card will get plus 10k. Then you can do a 5-time swing, which is pretty nice. So I think it's still something that's helpful. And then if you are going to try the Cradle Markers package, then you can also consider having Ghidorah to use multiple attacks to try drop your opponent's hands. When the hand size is less, go for Giraffa, drop 2 cards from your hand, and then try to finish them off. And the normal OG Dark Phase can be a very useful regard, because he can pump 6 power up. As long as you're willing to discard a card, you can put a Cradle Marker on something to basically kill the skills, kill the powers, something like that. Helpful and just easy to use. But you do need to have a good hand size for this. And lastly, this is a card I think we haven't been using a lot unless we go to premium, which is Antlion. Now Antlion is also a card that can gain crit, gain power, and also with card restricts on Sentinels. So your Vanguard crit is 2. This card crit is 2. But in a cost of Soul Blast and a Grave and discard 2 cards. Now those 2 you can actually attack with your Antlion first. Do that, force your opponents to drop some cards because they can't use Sentinels. And sometimes, if this is big enough, and you force your opponents to drop enough cards and they only have 1 Sentinel in hands because it's not the era, then when your Vanguard goes in, they probably can just not guard at all. So this is something that you can arrange your attack orders and make your deck a lot threatening, but you do need to drop a lot of cards. Yeah. So these are some options that I think you can consider, and I will probably go more in depth when I actually go some deck building parts. Maybe if I record it, or maybe if I go for a live stream, then I can talk about more. But for now, these are the cards that you can consider using your deck, and then of course there will be more, and we can go through from there. Yeah, I hope you enjoy this. Something a little bit new, because last time I only talked about the new cards, but this time I'm also telling you some cards that can be helpful to you building your decks. And yeah, do let me know your thoughts. Are you hype? Are you not? What's the next megacolony unit you want to see appears in free premium? Let me know. Yeah, thanks guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.